Hey, Miles here, milesbecker.com. This video reveals the 5 keys to outsourcing. Specifically, you're going to get my 5 main tips or my 5 main strategies I use to find the right people at the right price for my job. So whether you're hiring a virtual assistant, a customer support person, a developer, it doesn't matter. These are relevant every time. And I've personally been on a little bit of a hiring binge. I've hired many new people. I've got a bunch of job listings open right now. And I figured I'd share with you kind of the specifics, right? So you can bring on the right people. Number 1, test different hiring platforms. There for a while, I was very kind of all in on one platform. I had great success with Upwork many years ago, actually when it was called oDesk. So before they got bought out and changed over. Today, I'm getting a much higher quality teammate coming in at a much better price from other platforms. One of the key platforms that I use is onlinejobs.ph. I am an affiliate of theirs. The link is down below. So if you want to use that, if you're hiring, I appreciate it. But either way, it's important to just check the different ecosystems against each other, because here's what's going on. And on Upwork specifically, when you get in a closed loop system, the prices for the actual services can really become competitive within that one closed system. But when you go look at a different system, you can find a much different price. Same idea is true in local markets. So the San Francisco job market for hiring for a content marketer is going to have a much different price than Tulsa, Oklahoma. Okay. And I'm looking for the Tulsa, Oklahoma price, proverbially speaking, not the highest price in the world, which Upwork seems to be bringing me some intense prices. So on one specific job, I put it on Upwork and onlinejobs.ph. So I'm testing these two platforms against each other. I got $70 to $125 applicants on Upwork, and I've got well qualified applicants in the $7 to $10 per hour range. And I'm talking really well qualified applicants on onlinejobs.ph. So this is the difference between not being able to afford to bring on somebody to fill this role and continuing to do it myself, and the difference of actually being able to hire. So definitely test different platforms. So there's other ones like the freelancers of the world, rent-a-coders, right? Depending on what you're doing, do a little bit of searching on what the best platform is for the job that you like. If you're looking at writers and you want a native English writer, onlinejobs.ph might not be the right other platform to test, but maybe it's iWriter would be a great one for you to test in that scenario. Number 2, be specific and realistic. Okay. So I want to talk about the realistic part first. A lot of times people will get into outsourcing and they're like, cool, I'm going to find a virtual assistant who can write my blog posts. They can customize my WordPress. They can run my Facebook ads. They can do my dishes. They can do absolutely everything for me. They're human beings, just like you and me. And if you really think about it, someone who knows how to customize WordPress templates and themes, and who can be kind of your designer and developer in that world, they've probably spent the better portion of their professional life doing just that. Whereas someone who is an expert writer, they're expert at crafting the written word, at copy editing, at proofreading, they've probably dedicated most of their life to that craft. Just like you probably can't do all of those different things great, neither can a virtual assistant, right? So it's important to keep that in mind, and you want to really hire specifically. So that's the other side of this coin, right? So when you're hiring for one specific task, allow it to be for that one specific task. Don't expect to find a customer service representative who's also going to have the WordPress skills, who can also manage your social media. There's a really good chance you could take a great customer service representative and teach them how to manage your social media, but to expect them to understand PHP code or CSS code or theme customization, that's just outside of the box. So your job needs to be for a very, very specific role. And here's what happens as we get on, we're like, all right, I'm going to start a job. I want them to be able to do this. And you start writing, you're like, well, I really like it if they could do that also. And then you add that in the list of things to do. And then, well, I wish they could do that also. And all of a sudden you've built up this job listing for a total unicorn, for someone who doesn't exist. And obviously you're not going to find anyone to fill that role. Here's the other side of that. When you bring somebody on who maybe is like, yeah, I could do all of those things for you. And then you get them started and they're overwhelmed because they actually can't do all of those things, they're probably just going to disappear. And that's more common in other countries, but even in the United States, that's why people disappear, is they're overwhelmed. They don't know what to do. They don't feel like they're able to fill the position properly. So they just kind of disappear and go off onto something else. And remember, if that happens, it's often on you when that does happen, because it was something in the communication, the expectations that was wrong from the get-go. So have clear expectations, be super specific, and be reasonable with what you're looking for. I've found to find specialists in all of these different roles are helping me grow my business massively compared to generalists who might be able to kind of sort of do all those different things. I need my WordPress theme customizer and developer to be excellent, right? I need that code to be fast. I need the pages to load quickly. I need them to be really good at what they do. And my writing team and my copy editing team, they have to be excellent. They're writing in my voice. They have to be great at what they do. Customer support takes a certain type of a person. Same thing. I need somebody who's great and has years and years and years of customer support experience to support my customers. Number 3, ask open-ended questions that are relevant but random inside of your job description. Now, the job description portion is simple, right? You just go write the job. Here's the exact tasks I expect you to do, the time, all those bits and pieces. That's the simple part. At the bottom of the job description, I always include at least 2 or 3 questions. Now, some of the platforms like Upwork, they give you a separate area where you can add in the questions. I don't use that area. I put it at the bottom of my job description. Number 1, I'm making sure they read through the whole thing and they actually see these questions and they actually answer them. It's just a check. Do these people have the attention of detail required to work for me? Because I expect an extreme attention to detail from my employees, right? And if they just are copy and pasting their application, I'll know in an instant because they didn't answer my questions. Then for the open-ended part, right? You don't want to ask simple questions that like yes, no, 5, this is my favorite, WordPress is the best one. You don't want to ask closed questions because you want to get them writing a little bit. You want to try to get them to explain a little bit. You want to see how they communicate. So one common question I ask is, why is now the perfect time for you to land this job? And I'm really searching for a story that's going to help me understand how ambitious this individual is. And I have heard all kinds of stories from I'm starting a family and I want to be able to stay at home with my child and still generate income for my family. That's a great story that lets me believe that individual is probably going to be there for a very long time for me if we create something that works well together. Another story I've heard commonly is that I'm a caretaker and I have a family member who needs assistance, whether it's health assistance, getting to the doctors, this, that, the other. And so they need the lifestyle freedom to be able to take an occasional Wednesday off or a Thursday afternoon off, and they need a job that's going to fit that lifestyle for them. Again, this allows the freedom I can offer them from my kind of lifestyle business. This allows them to get the value of that freedom as well. And oftentimes that means a lot to them and they're willing to accept less money. Not that I lowball them or anything, but they just realize that freedom has value in and of itself. So they're not going to be taking the highest potential bid at the job because they really, really appreciate that kind of lifestyle freedom. You can ask them, what about this job is the most challenging that you're most excited about? Or what challenge within this job is the most exciting to you, right? Get them to explain about what they are excited about in the job. Because really, as you start to help get your teammates with more tasks on the things that they enjoy doing. For example, if you have somebody who loves organization and they're just like an organization neat freak and you realize this about them and you get them in your email inbox to help you clean up your email inbox, they're going to love that task, right? They're going to enjoy the feeling of taking your messy inbox, and I'm probably talking about myself here to be honest, and making it neat and organized. How do you know about them in this way? You got to get to know them. You got to ask them open-ended questions. You got to find out these things about them so you can figure out what are the next best tasks and roles for them within your corporation. Number 4, ask for a video. I always ask for a video now. In the bottom of the job application, I say, and if you want to stand out as one of the top applicants for this position, grab your cell phone or hop on your laptop with your webcam and cut a quick video to answer those 3 questions and just give me a little introduction of who you are so I can see you on video. I tell them it's okay to upload it to YouTube as unlisted so no one else can see it, and that's it. Now, this is a huge gauge of who is willing, who has the ambition to do something uncomfortable. Who wants it that bad? I have seen excuses. I have a sore throat yesterday. I can't do this. Great. I love knowing when people make excuses for doing tough things. They get out, their resume goes in the can, right? The people who actually take the time to publish a video are the people I'm most interested in, because they were motivated enough to do that uncomfortable thing to get on video and just kind of randomly explain themselves to their camera about why they're interested in this job. It gives me an opportunity to kind of just like meet them virtually, right? Like you and I, we have this kind of little connection here, kind of because the fact that I'm using video as my main method of communication. So it gives you that opportunity to really kind of just peer into their eyes a little bit and understand them. With that said, on one job that I'm hiring a few people on, which is number 5, one of the individuals did not make a video. So I don't hold fast to this if they've got the skills, if their answers are great, but I do look for people who actually make the videos. And I think 3 of my 4 or 5 key teammates that I have on my team all took the step of making the video. And that lets me know that when things get tough and when there's a difficult task to do, they're probably going to be more willing than somebody who made an excuse of, oh, my throat, I had a sore throat, I can't do the video today, right? Those who want it bad enough will do whatever it takes. And on my team, I want the type of people who do whatever it takes. Cool. So that's how I find them. And number 5 is hire multiple people for a test job. There is so much like voodoo around the process of interviewing and hiring. I suck at it. I don't think I'll ever be good at it. Interviews are, I have no idea what's going on in an interview. I'm as awkward and nervous as they are. I don't get it. I don't know what I'm looking for. But here's the thing, their work product and their work ethic speak for themselves. So how do I learn this? Well, I go invite a bunch of people to my job, and I invite as many as I can. Upwork now limits you to 6 people you can invite. On onlinejobs.ph, you can invite as many people as you want. On many of the other platforms, you can invite as many as you want, which is another reason, number 1, test different platforms. I think Upwork's they're on the way out for me personally. But then when I find 3, so I've got 3 people for this most recent role that I'm hiring for, and they're all like pretty good. Like I can't really tell who's gonna be the best, and I could nitpick about positives and negatives from each of their responses and cover letters and the back and forth I've had with questions. So now it's just time to get the job in their hands. So I hired them each for a 2-week run, and I'm willing to pay them the normal hourly of the same salary that I'm going with for 2 weeks, and I'll pay them each out in PayPal or whatever they want, because I just want to see who works, who hits the ground running, what kind of work product do they create. Here's what's interesting. The individual who I thought was middle of the pack, so there's 3 people, one guy stood out. I was like, this dude, wow, really good chance this is gonna be my guy. There was another in there, she was kind of like, man, she might be the person for this, right? So I put it out to all 3 of them. One person has hit the ground absolutely running every day, showing up. Here's the next thing. Person number 2 asked a bunch of random questions that were irrelevant. Kind of like, oh, why don't you tell me about this? And how many other people applied for this job? And they're asking relatively irrelevant questions that lead me to believe in the future when I say, here's a big task I want you to go run with, they're probably going to come back with a bunch of irrelevant questions, or they maybe don't realize that everything we do in my business is urgent, right? We move forward quickly on things. So of all 3 individuals, it's now been 2 full days. One person came back with work product on day 1. I gave them the next tasks for the next day. On day 2, they came back with work product. So I've seen work product in my inbox that's high quality 2 days in a row. The other people are just now getting started because of whatever reasons in the world. Now, at a resume level, they were all very, very relevant. They were all very similar. I had no way to differentiate from the resume and the first questions I asked in the videos. Couldn't really tell who was a standout. They all looked pretty standout. But right now, in the work product, in the speed at which one of them specifically is getting going. Now, another one says they have Wednesday available for this, and I get it. They might have other things going on. So I'm being patient. I'm going to allow this 2-week window to unfold. But already, right away, I've got a very excited feeling about one of the applicants, and I'm still hopeful for the other applicants. And if they're all great, I theoretically could be hiring all 3 of them. But this is how I really truly learn what is it going to be like working with this individual? What kind of work product? Can they actually do the job? Can they fulfill on what they say? It's one thing to write a great cover letter and resume. Let's be real. All of these outsourcers realize that they can go have a profile written from a professional freelancer because they're on the same freelancer websites with these individuals, right? So how much can we trust their cover letters, their description of themselves on their profile versus the actual work output? So doing like a 2-week job job where, hey, I'm bringing you on for 2 weeks. Here's the terms of it. If I like you, we'll talk about bringing you on full time from that point on, but really it's just a 2-week thing. It gives me a very easy out on the other side. If they're not great, if they're not perfect, just be like, thank you very much. This didn't work for me, but it gives me that opportunity to see how we mesh together, what their work product is, what their work ethic is, and that's some of the most important things for me. And one of the themes that I think you're going to see through this, and if you read between the lines on all of these, is I'm looking for ambitious people. I'm looking for people who are willing to do the hard work. I'm looking for people who are willing to show up every single day. This business of building a business online is extremely difficult, right? If you want the easy path, go punch a clock in an office for 40 hours a day and get your paycheck every 2 weeks. That's the easy path. This is magnitudes more difficult to build a business from scratch, to create a business that gives value to millions of people online. It is an extremely difficult business model full of challenges. So I need to make sure every one of my teammates are ambitious enough and willing to go through those challenges with me, right? We're all in the mud together. It's difficult to make forward progress every single day, but I need those people who are really ready to do whatever it takes to make that forward progress happen. And people who have excuses and people who don't show up and people who can't deliver on what they say they can deliver, I got no time for them in this business because we are moving forward very, very quickly as a team, and I need people who can keep up from day one. And this is how I find those people, how I analyze those people, how I help them stand out from the array of 70 different applications that I receive, so I can delete 90% of them immediately because they didn't answer my questions and they didn't make me a video, how I can narrow it down to those 3 and then just boom, straight into the hire from there to see who actually delivers on what they say, and then have that out, that hard out after 2 weeks to be able to let go of someone if they're not the right person, and ultimately to find that one key person who can fit that super specific role that I'm looking for and delivers on time with excellence, and they're excited to do more. I wish you the best of luck. Outsourcing can be a wonderful way to help grow your business, but it's a huge distraction and it's a massive time sink for you as the business owner. So take it one task, one person at a time, get them up to speed, get them going, then bring on the next, and so on and so forth. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, thumbs up, like it, hit the subscribe, hit the bell, do all those engagement things that I forget to ask every single time. I appreciate you. I got more videos coming out, so subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video. Until we meet again, be well.